everybody. It's March 22nd, 2023. And yeah, I guess I have to get more technical on this nonsense with this video stuff. And let me get back to my notes. Okay, yeah. One of the guys I got to give him credit because I totally enjoy watching him every morning is he's a guy with a husky guy who sits in his chair. And he's got his wood burning stove next to him, so I think people can figure out who he is. So I got to give him credit. And he brought up the fact the other day that like 450 million amounts of a certain liquid have been disposed of. While listening to him, okay, legality stuff. Remember, I'm a psychic. I'm a clairvoyant. I'll be hearing and watching stuff, and then I get my own impression on what's really going on. So, yeah, it's for entertainment only. So, folks, please remember that. This is all entertainment only. I had to ditch a lot of stuff out of a couple other videos because the overloads had their knickers in a twist. So, to go back, yeah, he was talking about, like, all this liquid had to be disposed of, and I'm thinking, where did they put it? And it became water supplies. So, even though people might be getting bottled water, if you can't afford that, and plus you don't know where that's actually coming from. Honey and camping stores, they sell these water purification tablets for people going out camping. Grab those or actual iodine and run your tap water, the cold water. Fill up a pitcher, put a couple drops of the iodine in there. Run it through a charcoal filter thing. Now that water, boil it for at least 10 minutes and then run it through a new charcoal filter. And that should eliminate a lot of gunk in the water. Alrighty, and yeah, people can even think old times, like moonshiners used to distill. Well, you can make your own distilled water. You don't have to be making alcoholic beverages. You can just making safe drinking water through that. Yeah, another thing, a couple places here in the States are now deciding to make cryptic stuff, coin stuff, electronic currency-based nonsense illegal. Well, I've always been very skeptic of all this coin crap that goes on the internet. I'm like, that's not a tangible object. I mean, if I can't hold it in my hand, I don't think it's real something to barter with. The other thing, yeah, I keep my eyes on what's going on in Europe. I mean, my mom's cyber Austro-Hungarian, and part of this, depending on who won which war, I'm Eastern European on my mom's side, so I keep an eye on what's going on there. Yeah, watch what's happening over in Hungary and Austria, because they're getting fed up with this union that everybody was forced to join. And once people are having enough, I think a lot of people are going to break away, are no longer want to be union members, because the union is the one that keeps underwriting this organization that is trying to manage the health of people worldwide. I mean, they need to get what does some dude in Switzerland know about my personal health? So he has no business sticking his nose in it. I mean, they shouldn't be telling me how to live my life and what medicines and what I can and can't take. You don't have my medical files. Well, maybe they do, but I've never talked to any of them personally, so those guys can go stick it up their butt. Same with the people who are in that building in New York that's kind of like a no man's land. That piece of property was surrendered to, it's not even part of the United States. It belongs to, I don't even know who it belongs to, but yeah, it's got all these flags out there. But yeah, if somebody who does something stupid on the streets of New York can run into that building and the New York police can't arrest him in there. Like, it's kind of like a safety zone. So all sorts of nonsense is going on there, and we got to just stop putting money that way, because it's not good. Um, yeah, I read something that people are now going to release the documents pertaining to how and why a certain thing that caused everybody to be stuck in their houses came about. Well, if anyone has anyone ever seen a redacted government document? So whatever's coming out, it's going to be nothing but they might as well just hand you a piece of black construction paper, because it's going to have somebody who has gone had lots of fun with a black magic marker. They're not going to say squat, because that information is out there. It's just been through people talking and hearsay. So a lot of people are so foolish that unless it's on a official piece of paper from somebody, they're not going to believe it. Well, unless you can scrape off the black ink from the original documents, you're SOL. They're not going to. They're going to keep their masquerade going. What I forgot to include the other day, and now it's now coming out, showing up. Yeah, Andy and Tim over in the UK, they've already joined forces. They're going to be working together to help the naval veterans who are getting shafted 8 ways to Sunday. I mean, here, people in the government are taking over hotels and putting these people who come onto the island through improper channels, are housed and given 3 meals a day and pocket money and internet and phones. But the guys that serve the country, they're sleeping rough under the arches. So, yeah, Andy and Tim are going to join forces, and they're going to start pushing for those guys to be taken care of. And we saw pictures of Andy out riding his horses with his brother Eddie. Well, Eddie, now with his new title, he's got a lot of things can now officially do a lot of cool stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me that while they're out riding their horses, they're talking about things and making plans for good stuff to happen. There is, remember back in the early 2000s? Yeah, Charles and they gradually had to get Camilla, people familiar with having Camilla around, and they slowly had to do some PR building to make her in good graces of everybody, because some of these people were she was a homewrecker. Well, Charles was the fool because he spilled the beans. If he hadn't spilled the beans, it would have been, the marriage contract would have been fulfilled with Diana. But Charles was an idiot about stuff. He forgot to follow the protocol. He kind of screwed up the protocol. And yeah, Camilla had to go through some rough stuff, and there's some good PR. People have seen her true colors. She's really a great lady who played by the rules. So, yeah. So now they've pulled out those same set of spin doctors to rehabilitate Andy's persona. I mean, okay, yeah. So, he was kind of an idiot in that interview. Well, so was Charles in his interview. So now they've got a spin doctor helping to rebuild Andy's image. And Andy's going to do it really quietly by literally by quietly helping out and getting the veterans taken care of. Now, another funny thing that everybody's going bonkers because Chuck and Cammie are going to go visit a couple countries in Europe. Well, the one that is famous for wine and cheese, perfume, and haute couture, I mean, right now people are really ticked off because they want to raise the retirement age. Basically, they want people to work longer so they have more money in the government system, because they've been so overloaded with people claiming to be refugees, and the strain on their social services is absolutely ridiculous. And they're trying to do raise the retirement age kind of like an American executive order. Like how somebody wiped out our oil and gas industry with a stroke of a pen on January 20th of 2021. Oh, that's kind of what's going on over in the land of wine and cheese. They want to raise the retirement age by a few years just by a stroke of pen, by a pen signing a signature. And it's not been run through their assembly, which is equivalent to our Congress and Senate, House of Representatives and Senate. So, hey, it's like not good. But it reminded, when I'm seeing this all on there, I started like, okay, being a clairvoyant, sometimes my messages come through flashbacks of history. And I do have a degree in European history. So that's how spirit guides and the heavens above let me know stuff. Well, they're talking about Chuck and Cammie going visiting a couple places. And I start getting Vicky and Albert. I'm like, so I did a little bit of digging, and I remembered Vicky and Albert went over to visit the land of wine and cheese, perfume, and haute couture. And it was an official visit. And then shortly after that official visit, the government that they were visiting fell apart. So, could it be that Chuck and Cammie going over there and visiting and talking to the powers that be that are running the place after they get through with their visit? Shortly after, there'll be a new government in the land of wine and cheese, perfume, and haute couture. Could history repeat itself? It's been repeating itself all over the place. So let's keep our eyes open on that one, because that was something that I actually got a lot of strong feelings on. Something else that I take as a compliment, because imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I've noticed that some of the other creators, and I don't know if I haven't seen them as subscribers to me, so they must have somebody watching me. So come on, folks, if you're going to watch, subscribe to my channel. I've subscribed to yours, and I do hit the click and like button. So I would appreciate the same courtesy. I mean, back in my early videos, and even when I was guest shotting with Fiona and Graham, I did mention that the dude that's in charge of the coronation has always been the Duke of Norfolk. And I made a joke about it because it's the Howard family. I mean, kind of like back then they put two of the girls as queen. I mean, Anne and Catherine, although both of them kind of didn't follow the advice and off went their heads. But still, that guy, the Duke of Norfolk, is the Earl Marshal, and he's the one who's actually running the show. Charles might have some input about things, but the dude that's running it and decides what's actually going on and who's doing what, where, when, and how is the Earl Marshal. So what he says goes on this. The job of the Dukes of Norfolk is to organize and produce the big events. That's their job. They're event producers. So yeah, they're the guys. He's the guy who's making the decision. And the dastardly duo shouldn't be sucking up to Charles. They need to be kissing the butt of the Duke of Norfolk. And of course, somebody who claims to have a degree in international relations really has not done her homework. Again, she really dropped the ball, because she should have been aware of, especially after working at an embassy that issues visas to come to the United States. She should have been up on the rules and regs, and here she let her hubby brag about his party favors. So, that's another reason why we're seeing stuff about his cousins getting married, his Spencer cousins. The reason why he doesn't go to those weddings he can't get back into the United States because everybody knows about his liking of party favors. And they're using every excuse out of the book to create roadblocks so he doesn't have to leave, because once he leaves, he's not going to get back in. So, yeah, it's like I know, I just a reminder, folks, everything I'm saying, it's entertainment purposes only. If you're not subscribed, click the red boots down in the corner. If you want a private reading and are sending me questions in an email, that's what I consider a private reading. I do have the things set up for Venmo, and I schedule a time, and I'll do it over the phone or through Zoom. Now, if you are on a tight budget, remember the second and fourth Saturdays of the month, I am live. You can see the little StreamYard logo on the screen, and I will answer your questions. I need to hear your voice, so you don't have to show your face. But as long as I can actually talk to you and not through a chat stream, come on, let me ask your questions, and those are free. If you're sending me questions in an email, that's private reading in my book. People do put questions in the comment section. Well, when I get about a half a dozen of those, then I will do a video and read them and answer those questions. When you see something go up at 4:30 in the afternoon Central Standard Time, it's a pre-recorded video. I am not live able to answer your questions seeing my face. A lot of the times I will be in the chat line typing out stuff for you. So, yeah, it's a pre-recorded video. The only time you really see me live, second and fourth Saturdays of the month, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's when you can come on board and I can hear your voice and you can ask me questions, especially if you're on a tight budget. Anything else? Oh, yeah. And to the people from the other channels, listen, I subscribe to your stuff and I do click your bell and I give you a thumbs up when I watch your videos. I would really appreciate it if you could extend me the same courtesy. So that's enough of my rant today. I want to keep this under 20 minutes. So everyone have a good one. Next video, pre-recorded video, goes up on Friday, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this upcoming Saturday, the 25th, is a live video. It's going to be a live stream, a live broadcast where people can come on and ask questions for free. So have a good one. I'm going to enjoy this cloudy day, and life goes on. See you later.